Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wrasslin Court. We are now in session. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wrasslin for Life Network. Welcome to Wrasslin Court. Welcome to the trial of Tony Khan. We're going to get into it today. The man, TK, some say he's a genius, some say he's an idiot, and a bunch of people say he's in between. We are going to find out today. We got the best in the wrestling legal business on tap tonight to get into all of this. They're going to plead their case. I will let everyone know out there, if this is your first time, it is our first time. We're going to go over some ground rules. The chat, keep it alive, keep it going, keep it talking. We will use your comments against both these lawyers. Plus, you get the opportunity to be the jury. How this is going to work, we got a couple opening statements. We got some evidence from both sides. We're going to debate a little, and we're going to get into it all, and then we're going to pass a verdict. Now, as Judge KJ, I am obligated to tell you guys the charges. So one, Tony Khan, I'm not sure what his middle name is, but we'll go with Tony Khan, has been charged with impersonating a booker, false advertising, neglect of talent, inciting tribalism, and insulting the intelligence of the general public. So that is on the docket today. Hear ye, hear ye. I hope you're all ready. Get in that chat, hit like, hit subscribe. If you haven't followed us yet, follow all this stuff. But in the prosecution chair, we will answer the question, can a man's hat be more popular than the man himself? He may look happy on the inside, but he's all mean on the... No, he's all happy on the outside and mean on the inside. There we go, there we go. But Mr. Anthony, the prosecution... here to take out Tony Khan. How are you, sir? How is your case?
I am good. The case is going well. I have the backing from all of these famous lawyers. I'm ready to fight tonight.
Ready to fight. And then in the defense chair, we got the man whose eyes will tell you everything you need to know. The neck brace is for comfort, not fun, but lots to talk about. Mr. Defense, Mr. Big Nick. How you doing? How you doing?
Thanks, guys. I think I have a great case tonight. I 100%. I think that, we're going to get a fair trial here as long as we don't have any, WWE bots or anything like that. And no one's just out there just trying to attack us. I think we're going to have a great trial here tonight.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're going to get into our opening arguments. We're going to give the lawyers a chance to speak, a chance to plead their case. You can get in that chat, plead your case. Let us know what is on your mind. Is Tony Khan guilty? Is he innocent? Do we love him? Do we hate him? How do you feel about it? Lots of debate. So get in there. Plus, we will be looking for you to help me, Judge KJ, make a verdict here tonight. But with all that being said, Mr. Anthony, the floor is yours, sir.
So I'm going to start off with my opening statement. And this is how it goes. And I feel like I just hit it on the head right here. So is Tony Khan a booker? That's the question being asked today. And I am here to argue that he is not a booker. Tony Khan is a fan who caters to a niche group of wrestling fans. I can say that Tony Khan books wonderful dream matches, but lacks the depth of storytelling. While WWE is producing top storylines and top wrestling matches at premium live events, AEW is producing top wrestling matches with no meaningful stories behind these matches at pay-per-views. Stories should be told to keep viewers invested. Stories should be told for viewers to tune in each and every week for growth, expansion, and to see what happens next. All Tony Khan is concerned about is Pepsi versus Harvey Weinstein, which in my world is not a fair comparison. Anyone with half a gnat's brain would realize that the comparison should have been Pepsi to Coke. Common sense would tell you that maybe Tony Khan lacks common sense. Today, with evidence and with the cast of Law and Order behind me, we will find that Tony Khan should be locked up for fraudulently impersonating a booker.
Well, see, sir, I'm like Sid Vicious. I have half the brain that you do.
Hey! You wait your turn. No one asked for your opinion.
He's insulting my intelligence, Your Honor. He's saying I have the brain of a gnat and this and that.
Well, like I said, mind your P's and Q's, sir. You will get the floor, which is funny. You can have it now.
There we go. Yes, but so see, again, we're not talking about Tony Khan as a booker, or we're making the case stands on if he's a booker. We're arguing about how good he is. Well, he hasn't been great. I won't deny that and everything. But I mean, Drake's getting bodied by Kendrick right now, but he's still a rapper, right? Tony Khan is getting bodied by WWE, but he's still a booker right now. Everybody has that one coworker that you're like, how are you still working here? But they still do their job. They're still employed. They still have their job and everything. We're not arguing about quality. We're arguing about if he has the job title here. And for everybody out there that doesn't, if you don't have a coworker that's like that, you are the coworker that's like that. But 100%, Your Honor, we're just because a chef burns a couple meals doesn't mean that he's not a chef anymore. I'm just saying, let Tony cook.
All right, these two youths just made their first claims. Folks, I think his defense was he's what he says.
He's doing the job. That's all we're arguing here. We're not arguing how well he's doing the job, Your Honor. We're arguing if he's doing the job.
Okay. We'll see how that pans out, sir. I mean, that's an interesting take. He's a murderer, but he just kills sometimes.
Well, he's out there, and he's out there doing catering. He's the owner. He's the booker. He's the ticket taker. He's the popcorn guy. He's out there doing everything. Again, we're not arguing the quality of his work. We're arguing that if he's doing the work.
Okay. We'll see how this works out for you. But with that being said,
bold strategy.
The witnesses are already kind of chiming in a little. Tony Khan is not a booker with any common sense. So that's kind of Nick's defense. It's almost an insanity plea, but
we're not arguing the sense. We're arguing if he's completing the job. Yes, it is. It's the way of if I could argue an insanity plea without saying he's insane.
Yeah, well, fuck, a billionaire with no sense. That's what we got here today.
That's what we have.
But Anthony gonna swing for the fences, leaning on the dub. What would you like to call into evidence? Prosecution leads here, folks.
I would like to call into evidence Chris Jericho versus Hook. Let's start off.
Even the defense cringed.
So, Chris Jericho versus Hook at AEW Dynasty. If Tony Khan is somewhat of a booker, if he's doing his job, why would you even put this on the card? Why would you put a has-been wrestler on the card to go over a up-and-coming wrestler? His career is just starting.
Can I answer, Your Honor? I mean, I don't know if that's a question to me or not.
The defense thinks we're in class. Did you put your hand up?
I don't know if he was asking the jury, if he was asking me, who he was asking, Your Honor. I didn't know if I could answer.
Jeez. Well, he didn't object, but prosecution continue, please.
I mean, and you're talking about Chris Jericho, first ever AEW world champion, still a legend, still an icon in this business here. And did I dare hear the murmurs after last night's Dynamite that maybe this learning tree might be a little bit over or anything like that? I've seen it around the interwebs and all the X's and all the Twitters. You go to I like AEW 5726.
I don't want to be impartial here, but it's over like my grandmother trying to do high jump. Like, what?
I've seen one tweet And
From
maybe that
Jericho.
person was not of this world, but I've seen one tweet. They need I don't know. But go ahead.
Well, you still have him in there with a legend, with an icon still out there. And do we dare just give Chris Jericho the just let him peter out? Just let him peter out. Just let him saw it off on his own, I guess.
The problem is he's trying to peter in.
Pause, Your Honor. If I can call objection on you, Your Honor, I will say objection with that comment.
Overruled.
Sustained. We could totally do it.
Sidebar. All right, back to Anthony.
So with Jericho and Hook, we can definitely already can tell that was just a terrible match. If you watched AEW Dynasty, that was a terrible match. You can be a booker, but can you book well? I haven't seen Tony.
That's not a question, Your Honor. That's not a question.
Leading the witness, maybe. But
leading the prosecution.
What is the question? Do you have a question?
The question is he a booker? Not if he's doing it well.
He's being accused of impersonating a booker.
Loose interpretation, Your Honor. I will cede the floor.
So I can continue?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Listen,
now hopefully I can get my train of thought back.
There you go. If the defense can wait their turn.
But can Tony Khan book well? In my opinion, no. He can't book well. He can't. The last time I felt like he booked well was maybe when AEW first started. But now it has become a travesty to watch each and every week. I think Jericho himself might be assisting Tony Khan with booking. That is why he continues to be on every show and continues to be terrible. But the defense or the prosecution rests at this point.
Well, maybe in the next hearing we'll have to call in Jericho as a witness or into trial here. Sorry, Judge. I know I'm talking about
We're gonna have to put a gag order on you one way or another.
I'm gonna be in contempt of court by the time we get done.
Yeah, we're getting close. Well, do you want to cross-examine that first little bit of or at least counter the first bit of evidence from the prosecution?
I won't counter that evidence specifically. I will counter, don't blame you. No, I will counter about that Tony Khan can't book well and that he hasn't booked well in X amount of time and everything like that. So we're just gonna throw out Hangman versus Kenny. Yes, boo this man.
Man's bringing up.
Yes, we're gonna throw out Hangman versus Kenny. We're gonna throw out Belt Collector Kenny, MJF versus Punk, Sting's retirement, Cody versus us. We're gonna throw out every good storyline that we've ever had from AEW because now it's kind of not so hot. Like I said, I'm not arguing about how well he can book. I'm arguing if he can book. And we've seen that he is a booker. And like I said, I cited off multiple examples. I can go into Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks. And we all hate the Young Bucks. Let's be honest. But this man
sure
can
you're
book.
representing AEW?
What?
Are you sure you're representing AEW on this one? You're very.
I'm doing I'm defending my client in that he is a booker. I'm not defending in that he's executing it well. I'm defending that he's a booker.
Fair enough. So no rebuttal to Chris Jericho, which would concern me. I see some people in the chat making comments about Jericho and his preferential treatment that he gets from said Tony Khan. Apparently, it's Tony Khan's business. He shows his rules. His show, his rules. I think that we should have said. So there you go. Jericho looks like a 60-year-old perverted uncle.
Well, who runs the show? The booker.
Okay. Anthony, prosecution. What's next?
The entirety of the women's division.
Ooh, going big.
Tony Khan, the booker, can't even book one storyline to be satisfying for the women's wrestling fans in AEW. You bring in high dollar Mercedes Moné, who I believe is not pictured there, but you bring in high dollar Mercedes Moné and she's struggling just to cut a promo. You bring in folks like Deonna Purrazzo, who already seems like it's fading by the wayside. And then this is a whole topic for himself, but you have a ranking system and Serena Deeb automatically number one. Where has Serena Deeb been? Where has she wrestled? Maybe on AEW Dark? The booking of the women's division gets a main event spot for 10 minutes and they get a no DQ match, and they have to make it the best. The wrestlers have to make it the best themselves with the 10 minutes they have to offer. Not only that, but you have multiple people in the crowds at shows holding up signs to book the women's division better. Is Tony Khan a booker, or is Tony Khan a fan? Is he a fan of wrestling, or is he actually a booker of professional wrestling?
Before the defense answers that, I'm pretty sure prosecution almost called it a no knee pads match, but we'll skip that. To the defense.
Well, I was going to say again, we're arguing quality versus if he's executing the job. I still argue that claim here. But with talking about the women's division, you still have Toni Storm, you still have Sky Blue, you still have Julia Hart, you still, who's, I dare say, Thunder Rosa. She was great at the time until she got injured. Britt Baker, people are still clamoring for Jamie Hayter, even though she's been on the sidelines before even All In. So I think it might be a victim of circumstance of that. A lot of your talent, you have top talent, and it's now finding the backfill. And also, he's been the victim of a lot of injuries on this roster. Like, that's the thing. Still look at the roster that he has, and it's very much still been injury ridden.
Are part of the injuries due to the booking and the negligence of the talent being put in positions where they shouldn't be, sir?
Then we're splitting hairs on if you're going to call him a matchmaker, then he has no claim into that. But if he's a booker, then he has to deal with the injuries and everything like that.
Fair enough. Good answer. All right. Well, let's go back to the prosecution.
Well, hold on. Do I get to bring in any evidence or anything, or do I just have to answer the evidence?
Dude, have you ever watched Law and Order? Dun, dun, you're coming. Your turn
Fair enough. I don't know.
Is Wick? Oh, wait, we just caught it on. Is Nick wearing a neck brace?
Yeah, just because my client couldn't be here, I had to not only represent myself but represent my client, and that's the commitment I have to representing my client.
Yeah, Nick,
and this will come into play later on.
Nick is in court, remotely because he couldn't travel due to the neck. So
absolutely. Now, if the Young Bucks show up, run. But yeah,
nobody ever said that ever. Nobody has ever said that ever. If you see the Young Bucks run,
shit.
Let's see if there's anything else from the witnesses out there. Is credentials? Did he have to be a booker other than a rich dad? Eddie Graham is rolling in his grave. There you go. Helping the prosecution. Oh, you're a victim. All right, Anthony, what do you got?
Next into evidence, the entirety of Tony Khan and the Harvey Weinstein comment.
Ooh, shit.
So, Tony Khan, Harvey Weinstein, Pepsi. First of all, I know we're not talking sense here, but that doesn't make sense with Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein. That those two don't go together for some reason.
Your Honor, I call Chewbacca defense.
What?
No, I'm saying that I feel like this is the Chewbacca defense. Tony Khan didn't make sense, neither is the prosecution. We're bringing this up. Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein. I might be helping them, but neither one of them makes
sense. You're one step away from pleading the fifth. Prosecution, you were saying? I don't even know.
So Harvey Weinstein.
I don't know what to say to Chewy.
So Harvey Weinstein and Pepsi. If Tony Khan is truly a booker of a big prominent company, why go on national TV and call your competition Harvey Weinstein? Why go on national TV and claim to be Pepsi to Harvey Weinstein? If you are a booker if you are truly booking well, if you are truly calling yourself a booker in the entirety scheme of professional wrestling, why even give that comparison? Why even try to compare something that doesn't even make sense? That's like comparing a bed to carpet. That's exactly what he did. He
I will
compared.
argue. Sorry, Judge. Can I respond?
Defense.
Okay, I will argue that my client at that time was suffering from head trauma and neck trauma at that point, and was probably concussed at that point. Hence why he was not able to travel to Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, etc. So honestly, a little bit, it's a little bit like if you've seen the Joe Rogan interview when he interviews Daniel Cormier after he's been knocked out. That's probably not the state that you should have had a microphone in front of one Tony Khan.
Prosecution.
Sorry.
If Tony Khan wasn't prepared to interview, why did he take the interview?
Does Tony Khan look prepared for anything, my guy?
He doesn't, and that's the whole point. He's not prepared to even be a booker.
He's still doing it though. We're not arguing whether he's prepared, whether he's doing it well, anything like that. We're arguing if he's doing the job.
I should make it very clear to the defense that I could dress up like a cop and walk around acting like a cop doesn't make the judge or anyone else a cop.
I like how the judge is leaning towards my side.
That's not
like
true.
that.
I'm impartial.
I want to call for a mistrial here. Even the prosecution is pointing out how the judge is leaning in favor of the prosecution here. I feel like I am fighting an uphill battle.
Shots fired. Yeah, overruled. We're not going to do that today. But you can't sustain my overrule. Now, you're on thin ice. Anthony, next.
Oh, did the defense rebuttal? Was that your rebuttal?
I thought that was a good rebuttal.
I think that was my rebuttal. That
he was not of sound
mind. My defendant, my client, was under duress, was under concussion protocol at that time, and was not able to adequately represent himself or his company at that time.
Okay, so next thing coming into evidence is a tweet from January.
You're back to the judge, actually.
We got a tweet from January which talks about rankings, which we haven't seen.
Oh wait, that's not it.
That's not it.
Oh, so see, mistrial again. We're calling it. We're bringing in evidence that it was not made aware to the defense before trial.
Overruled. Back to Anthony. Is this the one? Anyway, you can speak on. I'll see if I can pull it up for everybody.
So, tweet from January that the rankings were coming back. The rankings were supposed to come back. They came back for all of 2.5 weeks because now Christian is the number one contender for the world title. We have Serena Deeb, the number one contender for the women's world title. We don't even have a ranking system. He can't even back his entirety of his own word. The wins and loss matters in AEW, but to me in AEW, it seems like the wrestler with the biggest contract matters in AEW. It's not about wins and losses here. The man can't even book what he said he was gonna book. That's I rest right there.
Ooh. Defense. He's got him reeling.
I'm trying to calculate it in my mind and everything like that because it's still one of those of. We'll all admit. I will admit that the ranking system was a failure to launch. It was a terrible idea. It was a booking and creative idea that didn't work out so well. So we've now corrected it and moved beyond it and everything like that. So again, it is still a booking decision, which guess who does that? A booker. So I will admit that the ranking system has been flawed, but still, we're having great matches. We're having the best matches. I feel like I'm starting to do. I need to start doing this and everything a little bit. Just say great 18 times. But yes, the ranking system is very much an issue that has hopefully been addressed, but is still, I hold my hat on that a booking decision was made to implement that. I know, not the
Okay. Let's quickly. We got a witness coming to the stand, Mr. Big Dog. I submit that one of the problems with Tony Khan is he's preoccupied with signing talent, mainly WWE, which is kind of tying into this whole ranking system issue, and not knowing how to book them, to get them over with his audience. Lawyers?
2 out of the past 3 people that he's signed have not been from WWE.
Ooh, good answer.
That is true. But he did sign one from WWE that has.
Well, where else was she gonna go? I know you're an Impact guy and everything, but do you really think she was going to Impact? They're gonna back up the Brinks truck for her to go to Impact?
If her price tag wasn't so high, she would have ended up back at WWE. But it looks like she wanted about $72 million. So,
yeah, she would have had to
wanted that Saudi money without that Saudi deal.
Yeah, she would have owned TNA for them to get her to work there.
Right.
What else we got? He is friends with Dave Meltzer's Eric Bischoff, can't stand him. That's not even a witness statement. That's just, thoughts. So let's go. The defense is on the ropes. Let's see if we can bounce back.
Right. Well, hey.
Next article into evidence. And hopefully I have the visual for it.
The devil.
Yeah.
Oh.
What have we done since the devil storyline? Absolutely nothing.
This one hurts the defense personally.
He might have booked the beginning well. If he's truly a booker, he might have booked the beginning well, but the fallout without MJF has been terrible. And I know your defense is he is a booker, but he's not doing it well. But at this point, can you even call yourself a booker if you're not doing it well?
This is going to pain me with every fiber of my being to say this. But if it wasn't Tony Khan there booking it and everything, would MJF still be where he's at? Because think about it, he has Will Ospreay, he has Kazuchika Okada, and he can't get them over, but he got MJF over like Rover. Part of the biggest, like I even mentioned before, of one of the biggest storylines. Well, actually, I didn't mention this one specifically, but I mentioned MJF versus Punk. But even initially, what we're getting now, which is one of the most talked about storylines in AEW, was when MJF was going at Tony Khan. So clearly he booked that. So I think that there's very much, it hasn't been good. I will admit that, but it has still been him trying to execute something. That's that. It's the bare minimum of an argument I can make of this. Of he's at least still booking. It's not well. Again, like I said, sometimes you get bodied by your competition, but you're still doing it.
I will say, ladies and gentlemen, the approach of, yeah, I know you said he was drunk driving, but he's still driving is an interesting choice. I will say.
I told you, exactly. Pain to me with every little fiber of my being.
Yeah, that one hurts personally. Tony Khan that he feared for his life over a minor encounter in the city of Chicago, of all places.
I have well, whenever I can get to, I can present evidence. I have a claim on address because I thought that was a charge.
Order. God damn it, defense. Killing me, Smalls. Especially after finding Punk minutes before the show. You seemed a little froggy, so you can.
I thought that
your evidence is coming.
Charge, so I was going to make an address to go at this charge that I thought would have been, him falsifying records of fearing for his life and everything like that. But at the same time, though, CM Punk fought the UFC. CM Punk beat up both the Young Bucks and Jack Perry, and on film. So,
your defense is
if you're
UFC?
Tony Khan and you're a billionaire and you've never been yelled at and you've never had to be in any sort of physical altercation or anything like that, you would fear for your life. Of literally, we've seen this man take a fucking Meltzer driver, TK driver, and get beaten up by all three of these men. And he's out there smiling. Hi, guys. Thanks, guys. And all happy as can be. CM Punk breaks off all three of these men.
He's gonna kill
me. I would
me.
be terrified if this man's coming at me.
In fairness to the prosecution, Tony Khan definitely does seem like the man that would jump from a dust bunny. So,
but you're really using UFC? That CM Punk fought in the UFC?
He's 0-2 in UFC fights and 2-0 in backstage fights.
And like, what was the minutes of those matches? Like 30-something seconds or something?
He's got a 500 record, my guy.
He's got a face that looked like mashed potato if you've seen the pictures.
Yeah, but still, the three people that beat up Tony Khan, CM Punk wore the brakes off them three. So,
I mean, this is where it becomes funny because people have talked about like Goldberg or Brock or, some big name, Drew McIntyre. I'm like, what would he do if they freaked out?
He did run and hide.
Hashtag Dust Bunny Tony. Submitted into evidence. Thank you, MDB. But anything else?
Yes, that was my response to this whole false allegation that Tony Khan sat there and said that he feared for his life, because I don't think Tony Khan's ever been in a situation to where he's been in an altercation that's gone past maybe some stern words. So he sat there and had a guy who's punched out the three people that just beat him up right in front of him. He don't know how to handle that.
Right. Okay. Prosecution, are you resting or do you have more to offer?
No, I'm resting.
You're resting. You got nothing else? No.
Lay back.
I don't
relaxing.
I don't think I have anything else. I feel like I've already won the trial, to be honest. But because we're basing this off of impersonation. Is he really a booker? Is he booking well? At this point, I can impersonate being a grocery store salesman and checking people out. But if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not going to do it well. So
yes, but the second part of the argument was that he's doing it well. I have made the claim that it's not an argument of if he's doing it well. It's that he's doing it.
Okay. Well, defense, the floor is now yours for your compelling arguments.
Well, I feel like most of my evidence has now been brought up as counter arguments and everything, but I do have one bit of evidence that I would like to call into question, and I will ask you, Your Honor, I will ask the audience, I will ask my prosecuting attorney here. What do you think of when you hear 5 stars? Normally you think pretty well and everything like that. You have, 5-star hotels, 5-star restaurants, 5-star Michelin chefs and everything like that. You think that that's a sign of excellence, that they've achieved things, right? Am I speaking out of turn for anybody? Am I misquoting anybody? Do we want to take a guess at how many 5-star matches that WWE has had in its inception?
I want to object. I'm not
allowed. No, Your Honor. You can't object to one bit of evidence I am trying to bring into court here.
That is yours to put forward. That's incredible.
Absolutely. So again, does anyone want to fathom a guess how in the 60 some odd years of WWE Pro Wrestling, how many 5-star matches that
from Dave Meltzer? But go ahead.
No, I'm asking a question. Does anyone want to fathom a guess?
I'm thinking
because I can answer it. I can answer it. It is 22, Your Honor. And do we want to take a guess at how many 5-star matches AEW has had since 2019?
I feel like you're leading the witness, but
I know I'm stating facts. In the 5 years that it existed versus the 60 some odd years that WWE has existed, which ones had more 5-star matches? AEW has had 30 5-star matches within that same
last
amount of
week.
that be that as it may. Is that not a sign of excellence? Like we've talked about, if you stay at a 5-star hotel, you're staying there because it's rated 5 stars. If you're, going out to dinner at a 5-star restaurant, you're going there because it's 5 stars. So 100%, can we not say that this guy's booking? Again, I'm not arguing how well or to who or anything like that. I'm arguing that he is booking. And he's had more 5-star matches within 5 years than WWE within 60 some odd years.
Prosecution.
How many people have seen those 5-star matches? The 20.
That is not the question, Your Honor. That is not the question.
Man, that's a good one there. Okay, so 30 matches, 35-star matches, which is basically opinion based. It's not factual. It's not factual.
So is 5-star hotels, so is 5-star restaurants, so is Michelin stars.
Also opinion based.
The judge would like to know who is comprising these stars, and are they a certified expert in said field?
They have been acknowledged as a
distinguished. If we talk about 5-star matches,
that there has been awards given because of these rankings and ratings. This has been solidified. This holds as much credible weight as Michelin stars, etc. As what's the shit for fucking hotels or whatever, the fucking tire shit. But you know what I'm talking about. No, that's what I was thinking of. Literally Michelin. I'm just stupid and said the same.
Tire shit. That's my favorite.
So if there are really 35-star matches, and you said it's 20 for WWE, there's been multiple 22. There's been multiple 5-star matches in another company, and they've only said one in the entirety of its existence. There's only one 5-star match. Again, that's an opinion and not factual information. Because of the opinion of the one person who is saying these are 5-star matches, then there's a bunch of matches in other companies that should be rated 5 stars. And maybe he doesn't like those matches in other companies because they're not AEW.
But there is awards and pomp and circumstance. There is credibility. I say that in quotations, Your Honor. Credibility behind all of this that validates those 5 stars. And even then, WWE's highest 5-star rated match, or 5 and above, is at 5.5. Meanwhile, AW, and again, still in their 5-year of existence, their highest rated star match is 6.5. So a whole point over WWE and their illustrious run.
I still have the argument. Of opinion over factual information, because if it's a person that I'm thinking of, Meltzer.
But what is an award without opinion?
That was deep.
I mean, think about it. Oscars' opinion.
I'll allow it. I'm allowing it.
I think my question would be, what actual awards did they win?
Oh, fuck. Now you're going to make me Google shit I didn't have planned to Google.
Did they win a Grammy? Even though I know it's not a Grammy.
Booker multiple time, back to back at least, Booker of the Year.
He won it. He won Booker of the Year, mind you. Thank you, Judge, because you brought up a fucking point that helps me out. That this man won Booker of the Year so many times that it almost feels like the award should be named after him because he's won it that many times in a row. He's the Michael Jordan of Booker of the Year.
I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Got that shit going back to back.
Michael Jordan.
Sammys don't count. Booker of the Year. So the witnesses are chiming in a little.
Jordan of Booker of the Year.
How do you respond to the charge of inciting tribalism?
All right. Shit, because again, I feel like I just need to say great and huge and do a lot of this with my hands and everything, and maybe have a red hat on instead of a black hat, and I'd be much better to get out of this charge. But I feel like it's more of just playing to what the battlefield has already laid out before you. Let's be honest, it is. We've seen it statistically. It is much more engaging to an audience to be anti AW than it is to be pro AW. So to kind of just invoke that, well, we're always under attack, then you incite everyone to you. It's the rally the battle cry.
Anthony, prosecution.
Bring up the evidence of the tweet with John Cena and the Undertaker mentioned.
Oh wait, well that's kind of there. Here you go.
Is this not tribalism? Tony Khan invaded Tuesday night. It was a Tuesday night show for NXT. Because TNT can't get their scheduling right and they got other stuff going on, AEW was bumped to Tuesday night. Okay, WWE came back with booking The Undertaker and booking all these other folks, right? Tony Khan lost. WWE did not get on Twitter to gloat their win, but Tony Khan came on Twitter to basically say that Undertaker and John Cena for the first time was on a show that didn't garner 1 million views. Okay, and who are you catering to? You're catering to the tribalistic fans of the IWC. And I rest.
Fair enough. Well, I was going to say again, Your Honor, is this again not an example of him booking of he's playing, the advantage. He's playing the victim game of I'm going to sit there and invoke everybody to come my way because look at what they're doing to me. And to me, again, I think we're arguing more about how good of a booker he is versus if he's a booker.
But the question was, or the charge was, is he insinuating tribalism in the IWC?
Yeah, stay on topic, defense, please.
That's right. It's hard.
It's stiff like a neck.
Stiff like a neck. It's a stiff charge. It's a stiff charge to overcome here, but it's still one of those of. But is he not? Did he insinuate it? Has tribalism always kind of been there? We've seen that all the way going back from WCW versus WWE, ECW versus WWE. We've seen tribalism has always existed, and tribalism will always continue to exist. So why not exploit it? Why not sit there and use that to kind of rally the sheep? I'm sure I'm going to get hate comments in the chat for that. But why not use that to invoke people to come to your show, to sit there and tune in a little bit more?
I think that goes back to the comment of Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein, because in one breath, you can say if someone asks you a question of potentially working with WWE, you say you might be open to it. But in the second breath, you talk about your competition as being Harvey Weinstein. To me,
Your Honor, I thought we had already discussed this. I thought these records had been stricken from it because we had established that my client was under duress, was not under the proper state of mind and everything, so should not be held accountable for what he said here.
Just because the defense said it doesn't mean we're going to take it out. So I'll allow it.
Fair enough, but...
Well, good try.
I think still, if we're going to say incite, did he do anything to incite anyone, any sort of tribalism or anything, or did he just try and turn favor? Did he try and change the tide, in his direction? I don't think he incited anything.
Change the tide in his direction. What tide needs to be changed? Because WWE
fan base.
The WWE is the biggest company in the world. What is he turning? Is he turning the page? Is he flipping a pancake?
Could be either or. Depends on what time of day.
I mean, I think with that comment, and I hope I don't get hate, but he took the Whitney Houston route. I have not done. Let me stop.
It was Pepsi.
Maybe that's why he didn't make the claim, but still, if you do not, indict yourself on some shit.
All right, real quick before we get to any last evidence from the defense. Tony, okay, Booker trial over. They can't 5-star shows. Thank you for the super chat. Remember, folks, stand out with the super chat. Scott's got a couple in there. We really appreciate it. The evidence: injuries have hurt stories.
See, Scott's on my side.
Anthony,
Injuries have hurt stories. Well, what happened when the stories were good and they weren't injured? I mean, the stories were bad and they weren't injured. I don't know, but okay. I don't have much to say there.
the defense needs a minute. Back to the
No.
prosecution.
I was going to say the defense has called all of its witnesses, all of its evidence of all of that. Well, like I said, I feel like most of my evidence was in counter arguments, so I think we were, at a great point in this trial here.
All right, so the defense is resting, is what I'm gathering here. We're moving towards
resting like a neck brace. We've overextenuated ourselves. Our medical advisors have told us that maybe we've exacerbated too many.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the witnesses. I'm going to go to the chat for a couple seconds here, and then we will get closing statements from both the defense and the prosecution, ladies and gentlemen, and then you guys can tell us who won the battle. Was it the prosecution or the defense? Was it Mr. Big Nick or Mr. Anthony? What chapeau ran the show tonight? So let's find out. But let's get to some of the witnesses. Do you medical documentation to corroborate your claim? Wow. All right. Okay. Co-counsel, big dog going here. Is there any medical proof that he was actually not of sound mind?
I mean, is there medical proof he is of sound mind?
Prosecution? I think that's for you.
Can you define sound mind to prove he is out of sound mind?
So if he went in crazy, out crazy, does that not, that might hurt your defense a little here, sir?
Fuck it.
I don't think I need to say anything there.
You might have to answer to this, though. If we're asking the tribalistic fans, we got to ask the wise man, Paul Heyman. He's been known to incite some stuff.
True.
Oh, here's an interesting one. They usually have to go with the schedule against basketball and hockey, because apparently that's only done on Wednesdays and Saturdays, with TNT and TBS to be able to see wrestling, or in May. And that's only a little bit. I don't know if you know, Dale, but the judge happens to point out that there's 12 months in a year, not just playoff season. But anyway, back to you. And they put on a bunch of Star Wars movies.
Again, I am arguing that he's still new at the game. There's good ways to do this, and there's bad ways to do it. I'm not saying he's doing it good or bad. Well, recently bad.
I hope you're leaning towards goodish.
Right, but it's still one of those of he's still doing his way of doing it. I still stand by my claim that it's not a question of quality. It's, I guess, more of a measure of quantity.
All right. Well, I'll take that. Any rebuttal, Anthony?
No, I don't have a rebuttal. I'm
He's
tired
like,
of
I don't need
rebuttaling.
this.
This man just washing his hands of me. So you can have that. That ain't what I'm mad at.
All right. I think that's the ball. I think we're ready. So, in the interest of fairness, prosecution went first in opening. Defense, we'll give you 2 minutes, sir. Don't make me put you.
I'm sure I'll probably go over it, so don't worry. Don't
You're on the clock.
Afraid to cut
You
me off.
wasted 15.
Is this counting into my 2 minutes?
Yes.
God damn it. All right. But so again, I'm not arguing how good or how great or how bad or anything that Tony Khan is doing as far as booking. I am arguing that he is booking the pro wrestling. Again, there is so many good storylines that have happened throughout AEW. There are so many 5-star matches that have happened throughout AEW that to say that he's not booking entirely, I think is a very much, dare I say, ignorant statement. I think that he's doing it. It's not, everyone's cup of tea, but I think that he is still booking. It's still one of those, like I said earlier, if a chef burns a couple dishes, he's still a chef. So just let this man cook.
Mic drop.
Okay. So
All right.
that was decent, I guess.
Fuck you, Jesus.
All right. So my closing statement is I believe I have compiled enough evidence to say that Tony Khan is a fraudulent booker. Matches made like Jericho versus Hook and backstage fights being revealed not to further storylines. Tony Khan is a wrestling fan trying to run a wrestling company. With his style of booking, AEW might not last in the future. Tony Khan reminds me of Tyler Perry with no writer's room. The difference between Tony Khan and Tyler Perry is that 75% of the time, Tyler Perry's writing is good. Tony Khan can't even hold true to a ranking system that he created. Wins and losses don't matter in AEW. The wrestler with the biggest money contract does. If Tony Khan wants AEW to be as big as WWE, the focus needs to be on the wrestlers, the storylines, and building a brand for AEW. These days, it seems as if the focus is on throwing tantrums on social media with fans, wrestlers, and Eric Bischoff. This has turned into a teen drama like One Tree Hill or Beverly Hills 90210 instead of running a wrestling company.
I wish I had like the burr, 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 burr.
Don DeMarco.
Oh, okay. Well, those are both compelling arguments.
I feel like I just sat there and just got punched in the face for like 2 minutes. Just bam, bam, bam.
The prosecution.
You gotta last. I'm Rocky Balboa. You just gotta survive.
The prosecution might have given us a Jake Paul preview tonight. Yep. That might have happened. But
you think Jake Paul's going over Tyson?
No, he was throwing the beating.
But
hey, that's okay.
I get you.
The defense is backwards. We're good. Guilty as day is long. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got about 100 people watching with us right now. Get in that chat. Is Tony Khan guilty of impersonating a booker, inciting tribalism, neglecting talent, and what was the last charge? Terrible at my job.
I declare again a mistrial. We've already had the prosecution out there claiming that the judge was in their favor. The judge doesn't remember the charges here.
Order.
No, there is no order. If you don't even know the charges, how am I supposed to agree to your order?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the con.
Right.
That's what it is. Y'all can't handle the con.
We're going with an appeal already. Shit.
All
right.
Wrasslin Court is brought to you by the people for the people.
Yeah. Amen. And we will be doing this again. So, Nick, defense, strong case as far as defending some very oblivious stuff. I'm not sure the Chewbacca defense is going to stand its, on its morals here.
Hey, I didn't do that for me. I did that to counter him. Like I pointed out he was doing it.
Right. Okay. The neck brace gets you a little bit of pity, so maybe some help there. But then the prosecution, I mean, solid case, strong argument, lots of evidence, dug right in. And right now the jury's coming in guilty of all charges. Not guilty. He never claimed to be a booker. He thinks he's the booker of the year.
Yeah. He won it. He didn't claim it. He won it. So what? So you're going to be mad because the defensive player of the year won the fucking award and say, well, he doesn't even play defense.
But if he never if he never claimed he was a booker, why did he say when Vince McMahon retired that he was the longest reigning booker in professional wrestling?
Because you're gonna dance on the devil's grave. 100% you're gonna do that.
Order. Guilty on all charges. Dale says innocent. I love it. Ric Flair.
Not guilty. See, you're skipping past the not guilties. We got Scott saying not guilty. I'm the jury.
I'm counting like a U.S. election right now. Sorry, I'm missing some. Guilty on all charges. Guilty, Your Honor. Guilty. Another super chat, Scott. We love you. not guilty. I am the jury. I am the
That's
law.
like 5 votes. That's like 5 votes.
Elizabeth. Yeah, that's defense.
Right. If I pass out, do we got a mistrial? We got a retrial?
No, I'll just call that a forfeit and I'll rule. We're good.
Ah, shit.
I will rule you.
Jimmy the King.
Guilty. Tony is guilty. 40 votes. Tony is guilty. I'm feeling like, as the judge, jury, and executioner of this little shindig, chapeau versus chapeau was a good battle, but it looks like Tony Khan is guilty on all accounts, ladies and gentlemen.
I fought the law. The law won.
That's gonna be Nick's theme song for the next month.
I'm just a small town bird lawyer. I wasn't even supposed to be here.
Cortez, I'm not guilty. This is dumb, but you're watching it, so thank you. They were mean to Tony. But yeah, Tony Khan guilty. Now here, a very big responsibility, and we're gonna have to let Tony know what's up. But as the judge, I got to come up with a suitable punishment for this guilty verdict. Sorry, Defense. Your client is 100% guilty. I'd ask you and your client to stand, but apparently your necks are hurt.
It's a little hard. It's a little hard.
We're going to sentence this man to mandatory counseling for PTSD. I heard he feared for his life. So we should get that out of the way. Mandatory. We're going to sentence him to 3 years in OVW. He's got to learn.
Without snow?
Yeah, right. Everybody want? And also, as a caveat of this guilty verdict, Tony Khan, you imposter, you faker, we love you. We appreciate the good things you've done, but I think at the end of the day, you've lost your way, sir, and you're too caught up. And you've become what you hated the most, which is the evil billionaire running a company and not paying attention to his fans. So last but not least, you are not allowed within 200 yards of any indie show or New Japan production for the next 3 years, because you're getting.
So he can't even show up at his own show?
Well, you're the defense. I could pull him from his own.
Bro, I've already lost the fucking case. The defense is gone. I don't need to defend shit anymore.
Now Goodman's like, the check cleared. Fuck him. Send him.
Exactly.
All right.
I want a last holding comment of Hail Mary shot here. Well, if Vince Russo can claim the title of Booker, so then why can't Tony Khan?
Because, yeah, but then do the job. Do the job. Tony Khan,
gotta win the championship.
I have a feeling we're going to be back here discussing Mr. Tony Khan. He feels like a habitual criminal at this point.
Repeat offender, yeah.
Repeat offender. But, we tune in every Wednesday and Saturday, hoping that he has learned from his past mistakes. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. He is guilty. Guilty on all charges. Stay away from New Japan. Stay away from Forbidden Doors. Well, especially if you're tied up somewhere. And
bullshit with this.
Congratulations, Anthony. The prosecution wins. We will do more of this. The channel is back for all your wrestling needs, folks. We appreciate the jury. We appreciate the witnesses. We appreciate the super chats. Either of you want to say anything?
I knew I was going to win. That's it.
To hell with you. To hell with this judge. This is a fucking kangaroo court. And I will just say, let us know in the chat after this video and everything, not in the live chat. Let us know in the comments of what you want to see go next on the trial here, because I'm sure after we even mention of like Chris Jericho is a prime candidate to go on trial, etc. So let us know what you want to see go on trial next in the comments after this. But this is in kangaroo court.
Totally forgot that part.
Fair enough.
But the verdict is in.
I challenge it. Hearsay, heresy, hearsay, all that shit.
Put Nick on trial.
He's about Salem Nick trials. What?
Right. All right. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan is guilty. We are the Wrasslin for Life Network. We are the channel that just watches more live wrestling than anybody else out there. And in addition to that, we got all your wrestling needs, and we got more coming your way. Court is adjourned, and we will be back in session again. Congratulations, Tony. You're on watch. Put on your ankle bracelet. Defense, do better, be better.
Let's all go to court now.